All right, all right, all right.
There we
Hey, oh shoot. Hey everybody, we back.
go. It's water cooler Wednesday. Y'all know what we got.
All right.
Hey.
Gotta hold it still like it. Oh, I have my cup too.
You, oh, there you go. See, you knew what to
Mhm.
do.
Right. Hey everybody, we're back.
Welcome to 2022.
Yes. Woo! Happy New Year.
Woo! You
Happy New
made it,
Year.
and we made it too.
Right. So we were gone a little while. We took a little break, but we missed you guys a
We
whole lot.
did.
So,
Yeah.
so we
It
are
did feel
here.
like vacation, though. I'm gonna be honest. I was like,
I don't know.
I-
Right? I ain't gonna say that I was kind of on the couch. I was on sleep.
probably on the beach.
Right. I when I went to Florida, it wasn't warm, so
What? It
it
wasn't
was
warm.
cloudy and stuff. So I was like, oh
Okay,
well.
this thing ain't working for me today.
Hi guys. Well, we're here and right. So my name is Dion Branch, and I am with EXP Mortgage. And with me is, the one over there, which I won't be
What?
pointing to, because
The
we
one
can't go
and
into
only.
2022 with the same issues from, from last year. So,
Like y'all know where she at by now.
right, right. She over there. So,
We've been doing this
uh,
almost a year. They ought to know by now. We always right next to each other. So
right,
yeah,
right.
good.
So this year we wanted to come back strong, and we wanted to talk about your 2022 goals and setting your
Yeah.
goals for this year. And we know one of them is buying a house, right?
Either that
So,
or refinancing the house,
right.
consolidating some debts, paying maybe for college or something like that. Maybe even improving your home because you might be getting ready to list it and sell it sometime later in 2022. So we want to talk about what your goals are. So, oh, that's great, Dion. Thank you. So today we really want to go over what you actually are doing for goals, even though what we're going to talk about today is specific to real estate, but these are going to be some things that you can utilize in any of your goal setting for 2022. Because we're not just concerned about your real estate goals, but we're also just concerned about you as a person. So we want to do something that we felt would be helpful, not only for your home ownership or home buying goals, but also just would be helpful that you can utilize in other areas of your life. So the very first thing we wanted to talk about was writing your top three goals. Uno, dos, tres for the year
Right.
of 2022.
Hmm.
I know somebody got a saying about writing it down, the difference that it makes to write it down. They actually do statistics about that and stuff. They researched it and everything to look at the difference between when people actually write their goals, how much of a difference it makes as far as how much traction that you'll get and the action that you'll take toward those goals once you solidify. There's even a scripture that says,
Right.
write the vision and make it plain.
Right. And I
So,
have my goals. I have my goals on the wall already for 2022. So I've set my goals for this year. And so you guys can set your goals as well. So number two.
you want to take this one?
Oh, go ahead. We
Okay.
kind of talked about that. Why you want to write them down, right?
Well, write why you want to achieve the goals that you choose. So out of the three
Oh,
that you write, then you want to say why. You want to write down also why you want to achieve those goals. So anytime you think about a goal, you there's always a reason. We never just come, as humans, we don't just come up with stuff haphazardly. We always have a reason for what we do, some kind of a motivation. What is it that's motivating you? Why do you want to achieve these goals in particular? And so that's important to articulate that in writing. Put that down, even if you do like say three separate sheets of paper that you do, and on each of those you write down why you want to achieve that specific goal.
hmm. So
And
that's
then
great.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's really great. That's some really good advice. Mhm.
Hmm. And our next one, we should have a number three coming up now. So this goes directly in conjunction with the second goal of why you want to achieve what you want to achieve. So now this is kind of taking it to a deeper level. Who does it have an impact on? So when you achieve these goals, what's going to be different in your life? What's going to be who's going to be impacted by what you like? For example, with the home ownership goal, one of the things that was important for me, I'll just use myself as an example, is that when I was ready to purchase a home, I knew that me purchasing a home was going to give my children their own backyard and safe place to play. I knew it was going to give me a level of serenity and more control, if you will, because when you're renting, you have restrictions on what you can do with the place, and you have to be mindful. For me, I wasn't renting a single family home. I had neighbors right above me, so I had to be mindful of how much noise my kids could make, and different things like that. And that meant freedom from all of that for me. So when
Right.
I thought about my home ownership goal a couple of years ago, that was what would be impacted. Our lifestyle was impacted by the fact that a couple of years ago, that was my goal to become a homeowner. I'm sorry, Ms. Dion, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say I have a lot of clients, and which is kind of similar, that has that same effect, right? Even a lot of times people are moving because of schools, right? Wanting
Yeah.
to get their children into a better school district.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you definitely can have some goals that's relating. I want to get out of this neighborhood. There's a lot of gunfire and shooting, things like that, violence
Yep.
that's happening in this neighborhood, and I want to move to somewhere else that's better for my family.
We have
So,
customers right now that are like that. Their main objective for buying a home or for moving is because of the fact they want to get out of the area that they're in. Like, look, this area is not what it used to be. It's no longer suitable for my needs. I'm not comfortable. It doesn't feel like home. I want to move to a place that's going to feel like home, that's going to be welcoming, that's going to be safe, that's going to be more
mhm,
conducive to my lifestyle and what I'm looking for. So yeah, absolutely. That's a real
yeah,
good point.
yeah. So definitely, it's definitely good to know, because then that also motivates you later on when you say, "Oh, I'm so tired of looking for this house," and so yeah, it's like, well, why are we doing it again?
Right.
Yeah, So, all
Yep.
right. Mhm.
Perfect.
So yeah, so I'll do this one. So now we're assuming that one of your goals is to either sell your home, buy a new home, or even just like refinance your home, right?
Hmm.
So what are the things one of the things that you need to start off with is to evaluate your credit. We've had Maurice on the show. He's talked about signing up for credit monitoring services,
Yeah,
credit, review your credit report. So if you see that your score is below a 640, this is a good time for you to take action. So the first thing you need to do is know about your credit, what's on there, and try to get it established as fixing, how do I fix it?
absolutely. Yep, that's
Mm,
perfect.
yeah.
Want
Mhm.
to
Uh,
take this one?
yeah, so look at your financial picture, money you have saved for your assets. So that so many times, we have a lot of clients that say, "Oh, I heard I need no money." You need money to buy a house, right? You need
Right.
So if somebody told you, "Oh, I got my house for no money," no, you need some money. So you got to look at your financial picture, right? Is that, I mean, kind of, you got to know. Is that what we talk about here? Like how much money you
Hmm.
have, how
Right.
much money you're gonna need. A lot of 3.5% down for FHA.
Yep.
There's closing costs. You need at least 3% of the price of the home for closing costs. That's kind of what I've heard. I mean, we're
Hmm.
going to help you. We're going to help you get, some money so that you don't have to put as much money down. But then
Right.
you have to have some skin in the game,
Exactly. And we talked about this before on our episodes from last year in 2021, where we discussed the items, like we did kind of a checklist. And some of the items, that we talked about would be, even if it's just the earnest money, the appraisal, and the inspection.
Right.
All of that is up front. You need all that before you even get to the closing table. You need to be able
Hmm.
to fund all of those different items. So yeah, absolutely. There is
Right.
some kind of skin in the game for when
Right.
you're purchasing the home.
So that starts out at about 3,000, and it could go
Hmm.
up higher because we're in the sellers market, which we've talked
Right.
about a lot too. But
Yeah.
um, you definitely at least you in the beginning of the process you need at least $3,000 cash,
Plan
and
on it.
then right, and then
And
we
the
go.
better thing to do is actually, if you can, plan on having 5% of what you plan to buy. So because then that usually will cover your what do you call it? That'll cover your earnest money. And that will also cover some portion of your closing costs. So like for example, if you did a $200,000 home, plan on having about $10,000 that you would have aside. That will
Right,
cover your earnest money, that will cover your inspection, your appraisal, and that will cover your closing costs as long as you're able to get a credit. People
right,
don't realize the numbers that go into this because realistically, it's not uncommon for closing costs on a loan to be in excess of $13,000 to $18,000. It's not
hmm,
uncommon, but the reason why those numbers are decreasing by the time you it comes down to what you need to bring is because there are credits. Like I, as a lender, often give credit. Sometimes the seller gives credit, but that hasn't been happening as much because we are in the seller's market. There's also tax prorations because of the fact that we live in a state where taxes are paid in arrearage. Different things like that will be able to bring those costs down. But realistically, if you look at the numbers on the closing disclosure, it's not uncommon to see $13,000 to $18,000 as the total amount that
that
is,
is me. Right.
for
And
closing.
there's ways that you can get that money. You don't want to take out a loan for it or anything, but maybe you have a 401k, right?
Yeah.
So, right, maybe it's not you actually saving that money, but you saved it within your job. So,
Hmm.
there's different ways that you can get that money, but we need to have some money.
You gotta have something. Yep. And another thing you're gonna look at with your financial picture is you will also be looking at let's see, we got assets. Go to the next one.
This next one,
Then
okay, this one.
the debt that you owe. So when you pull up the Credit Karma or My FICO, those are usually two really good ones that you can use in order to look at your own credit. But when you look at those things, you're looking at what debt you have. Because as a loan officer, I'm going to calculate what they call a debt to income ratio. So that means that the portion of your income that goes to your debt can only go to a certain amount. Like on FHA, I can go up to 56.99, but I have to have an approved eligible in order to do that. The system has to accept it. So that's the max that I can go to. But so in order to know that, you have to look at, okay, do I have $100,000 in student loans? Because if I do, then that's
Right,
going to play into, my debt to income ratio. Or here's another good thing to keep it to for your credit to be more healthy as well. If I have a $3,000 credit limit on my credit card, have I spent 2,997 of it?
but
Because
that
if
kind of
I
goes
have, I
into
might
your
want to pay
credit.
that down.
Right. But that goes into your credit too, because then that's affecting your credit score. So,
Yeah.
which we talked about a little earlier. So you need to definitely bring that down and pay it off.
Mhm.
So, um, definitely you got to look at how much you owe, and see if you could pay off some of that debt before we get started to buy a house, so that it doesn't affect how much of a home you can purchase. Because a lot
Mhm.
of times we had a lot of people who are like, but I want a 300,000 $400,000 home, but
And we want
their
that for
debt,
you too.
right. But their debt ratio is is so high
That
that
you
it
can only
brings
buy
them
one for
from.
about 50.
Right, it brings them to 150, which is, so then they're
Yeah.
like, well, what? Why?
Right.
So that's definitely during this time while you're preparing, you got your goals set. These are the steps in order to get you to that end.
And if you have questions about what that ratio looks like, you can always give me a call or send me, a message and say, hey, can you go over this with me because I'm not sure exactly what it is, how to calculate it or whatever. And I'll be more than happy to help you with something like that.
Okay. All right. So now, You're working on some other stuff now. It's about the house.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. Where do you want to go? I've had a lot of people say, I don't know. Just anywhere. I can't look anywhere. I can look anywhere, but I really need some. We need some direction. We need to know where you're interested to
Right.
going. Do you want to go to Indiana? Maybe you're thinking Indiana now. I'm tired of Illinois. Maybe I want to go to the suburbs, or I live in the I work for the city and I need to stay in the city.
Hmm.
So then the city is still large because do you want to be on north side, west side, south side, east side?
You got the east side?
So there's so many different areas, but know the areas that you want to where you want to live because then that helps us narrow down and we're not just searching just for anything. So,
Right. Absolutely.
um what's the physical makeup of your home? How many bedrooms do you need? How many
How many
bathrooms?
floors?
Right.
Sometimes that's a big one because we've gotten a lot of people now. The demographic is changing a little bit. People are getting older,
Hmm.
and they don't necessarily want to have the 2 and 3 story houses anymore with the basement. They
Right.
might knees getting bad. So
Right. Just
you
I don't want to walk up 13 flights of stairs to go to the bedroom and then I'll be on the main level. Then I got to do laundry in the
and go
basement.
all the way
That's 13.
downstairs, right?
Right. That's 13 more flights of
Exactly.
stairs. Right. So know the type of house that you want. Do I want a ranch? Am I really interested in the bungalows?
Mhm.
Or, and really I want 4 bedrooms, but do I need 4 bedrooms?
Mhm.
Because some homes are a little bit more difficult to find. So maybe a 4 bedroom is a nice to have, but a 3 bedroom is really your requirement.
Yeah.
So,
And that kind of takes us to the next thing too, because one of the things you also want to think about is what are your must-haves.
hmm
So when you think about the physical makeup of your home, there should be things that, oh, I would really love to have this. Okay, now we know what you would love to have, but now let's think about what you must have. Like, what is your basic bare minimum requirement? In order
right,
for me to buy a house, I have to have this. You need to know what those things are because when you're out there looking, Dion can attest to this. When you're out there looking, no two homes are exactly alike. There's always, there's going to be things that are different about them, and the condition that they're in, the neighborhood that they're, whatever those things might be, and you have to figure out how to balance that out. And the best way to do it is to think about it ahead of time, so you don't go out there and get so inundated in all the wonderful houses that you see that now
right,
oh well, maybe I can do this, but no, you
right.
need to kind of be settled on that.
Right. And also the fact of when we're going out looking that we know, okay, I know, well, you must have a basement. A must have is I must have a basement. So when you send a house that has no basement because you might have missed that it didn't have one, and we're not going and getting there. There's no need to sightsee, right? Let's go to the houses that really meet your criteria. Is the
Right.
I must have a garage. I really don't want to shovel snow and wipe the snow off my car and things like that. So I really want a garage, right? So there's a
That
lot
was
of
me. I said
houses.
I ain't getting out there some no doggone snow.
Right, right. Or stand outside in this freezing weather to
Yeah.
brush your car off, right?
Right.
So,
Mm-mm.
that's a must have. I don't want a house that don't have a garage, and that's fine. So then we
Yeah.
know, okay, no, that one has space for you. It doesn't have a garage. So
Right.
people have the garage is gone and they haven't replaced it, so they might have some space, right? Exterior
Mm-hmm.
space, right? So those are just some good things just to know what you want, know what you must have in order to for that to be your dream home. So
We're about halfway through. Okay, now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll take this one. You do need, when I say file your loan documents, what I mean is basically organize them. So they're going to be a list of things that I'm going to ask you for is basic stuff that anybody who's applying for a loan would need. Unexpired photo ID, W-2s, bank statements, paycheck stubs, all those kind of things. Make sure you have those items available. That way, when you go ahead and apply, and you're trying to get pre-qualified, I'll have everything. You'll have it available so that I can easily obtain what I need to quickly turn around your pre-qualification.
Right.
Especially right now, the name of the game is get things done, as quickly and expeditiously as possible. So we want to do that. You can help us do that if you're more organized and you have the things that you need available. So that when I ask, you just say, "Hey, I got that," because I watched you on Water Cooler Wednesday, so now I know
Right.
that
And
this is
then
what I need to give you.
right, to have those documents ready for Lisa. So then we've saw this house, we're interested, but you're not pre-approved. We can't really go out and look at a house until we get pre-approved. So you're ready. Now you
Yep.
send your information to Lisa, your lender, and now you can go. Okay, you've got everything you need because she's gonna definitely need those documents. Yeah.
Yes, I will.
All right.
And so then after you actually get the documents together, this would be a good time to just go ahead and visit my site and click apply now and go ahead and get your pre-qualification started. As soon as you start your application to get pre-qualified, it's not the application for the loan per se, it's the pre to that, because there's a separate application that you do for the loan itself. But this is to get you pre-qualified and ready to go out and place an offer on the homes. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So now this is something we just started doing for 2022. So when you upload your documents, because when you go on, you get a portal set up and everything at housemoneymama.com. And when you do that and begin to upload documents, then it'll trigger our system to send out to you a free home buyer's journey memory book, like a little journal. So you kind of, can write in and stuff about what you're doing. You can even use it electronically, actually. I think it's made where you can type into it as well, like a PDF. So you'll have that. It's something that kind of documents the journey that you're taking for home ownership. I
Okay.
think that's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, that's a nice little thing to have.
Yeah,
Definitely to keep track of your process as you're going along.
absolutely. And especially if you're a first timer, you'll only buy your first house one time in your whole life. Your first house will only be bought once. So especially a first timer, it's really, really good for you. And then here's something else that's good too. And we want everybody to do this. We have an I want this house pledge that we want you to read over and sign. So we don't have a copy of it today. We got to learn how to do that, Dion, so we can pull up documents and stuff while we on.
Yeah, we
Um,
can do that.
Okay, then well, I'll do it for one of our other ones when we go through like the process again. But yeah, so that's something where because you want this house, you're making a pledge for certain things that you're going to do and not do.
Right.
Like the 10 commandments of loan origination. There are going to be things that you have to commit to not doing, discipline yourself, and there are going to be some things that you want to commit to doing, discipline yourself on that side as well. So we have them all laid out for you, a nice neat sheet that says I want this house pledged. You sign it, you say it, you live by it, you get your house, you get your keys, and you'll thank us. You
Yeah.
will.
All right. So now you've done that. So now let's talk about receiving some property. So as soon as what really once you talk to me and we've decided we've deciding on your criteria that we talked about before, I can always set you up with some searches of home properties, and we can do that even while you're going through the pre-approval process, so
Mhm.
that you can get an idea of what the properties are out there. We won't go out and look, but it kind of gives you an idea. Okay, I'm seeing I like this style of house, preferably to another style that I thought I did like, and I'm not really liking how these houses are looking. So there's always a search that I can set up for you, and you'll receive alerts about the different homes in real time. As soon as they hit the market, you'll get notified.
All right, I like that.
hmm So then the next thing is, we're pre-approved, we're ready to go, so we can go. Let's go.
Go. Whoop,
Let's go
whoop.
out, see some houses, see what's going on. I'll even go out in this below zero weather.
And that, my dear, is why I am not a realtor.
I will go out. We might have some hot chocolate while we out there
There
looking
you
at a
go.
house. But
Have
it's a
fun
good.
with that.
So this is actually a good time to go. We are joking, but this is a good time to go because what? Everybody else don't want to go out. So
Right.
you go out. Yes, this is an opportunity for you to beat the people that are in the house sitting on the couch waiting for the weather to
To
get
break.
warm.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, we don't people don't look for houses in the spring and in the wintertime.
Mhm.
They do. And
Yeah,
so this
they
is a
absolutely
good
do.
time. Right. And it eliminates some of that the sellers market because now you don't have that bidding war that's going on because
Yeah.
the other
Yeah,
people
because it ain't 30 people out there that's all trying to get the same house now. Right.
are
Yep.
right. They still sitting on the couch waiting. They're on the couch waiting for spring. By then you'll be in your house.
Hmm.
So, all right. Are you on
Checkpoint.
track? Right. Are you on track? Did you do all the stuff that you needed to do in order to get to to the goal that you wanted? Are you moving in the right direction?
Hmm.
So, do you need to regroup? Do you need to go back and something didn't really go the way you wanted to go? Maybe you need to
Hmm.
go back and do something else in order to maybe we talked about your debt. Your debt was bringing you down to only 150, but you want that 400. Um, right? Maybe we had to regroup or say, okay, I'm doing what I want. My goals are set and I am moving forward, right?
Right. It's that same discipline that we talked about, with there are things I commit to doing, there are things that I commit to not doing. So you want to maintain that throughout this entire process because whatever you committed to doing, you have to maintain it and keep it going until you have finished up the home buying process. Even afterward though, the things that we're telling you to do as far as keeping up with credit and things like that and just being aware and setting goals, all of those things they're just good lifestyle things to do, period. Even if
Hmm.
you're not in the midst of a transaction for purchasing a home or refinancing a home. Which reminds me, we didn't really, I don't know if you want to throw something in here right now because we didn't really talk about, like, for somebody who's refinancing or planning to list,
Hmm.
value.
Right.
Yeah, the value of their home.
Right. And so earlier on in the process, we definitely will look at if you're thinking of selling a house, we will look at what is the value of your house and um so that we're doing some comparables, market analysis just to make sure that we know that we're listing your house for the right price. So as a seller, you might be we'll be selling your house first in order before we start, but all of this kind of still goes into play, but there's a little bit more as far as the seller's concerned, and we'll talk about selling your house.
Hmm. And another thing that actually kind of goes in conjunction with that, if you're thinking about refinancing like this winter, rates are still pretty low. You can refinance, take cash out if you needed to either fix up the house or you have some debt you want to consolidate or something like that. We could take care of that. Or if you're planning to sell the house later on in the season and you might need to do a few things before you put it on the market so you can get the highest amount possible, this might be a good time to refinance for that as well. Just kind of a little nugget for that. If it's something you
Right,
think
right.
about.
So all of these things that we talked about is your three, what are your three goals? Because the goals doesn't have to be buying a house. It could be buying, selling. I want to do my kitchen. I
Mhm.
want a whole new kitchen. I want my bathrooms done. I do. I want my bathrooms done. Right.
Did you
So
hear that?
right, right.
Is your husband at home? I want to make
He's
sure
not
you
home
know.
today, but it's on
Oh,
his
okay.
it's his goal too. So so we in sync, right? All right, but after we've done the checkpoint, we found a house that we want, then we're gonna place an offer. So, we'll talk all this year about
Yeah.
placing offers, making sure that we're doing the best offer. Let's see what market we're gonna be in this year. Last year we was in the seller's market. Maybe we'll just be in a regular market. Maybe we'll be in buyer's market, right? A lot of things are changing, and so we have to make sure that we're putting together a educated offer. And what that means is we're looking at all of the things that's incorporated in that offer, and so we're making sure that can we ask for credit? Can do we want a home warranty? So there's a lot that goes into it, but I'll talk you through it and make sure we make the best offer.
Yes, yes. You want to handle that? You want me to come in real quick?
Oh, you could do it.
Okay, so then after you place your offer, within like 3 days, usually you have to turn in your earnest money. That's one of the costs this upfront that we talked about at the beginning of today's program. You do want to get a home inspection; it's not required, but we definitely recommend it, and it is required that you get an appraisal because that's how we ascertain value for the house and know what it's actually considered as being worth. We can keep going because I know we're coming to the end. Excuse me.
Okay.
Okay. Then, of course, we go through the full loan process. You get a conditional approval and everything. And once that happens and you fill all those conditions, hey, Brutus, then the next thing.
Justin just brought them in here. That's what I'm like. I
Okay.
almost had a show without them.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So the next thing would be once you get those conditions filled. The conditions basically like a list of items that the underwriter says that you have to be done in order for that person to fully approve the loan. Once you meet all the conditions, he or she will clear the loan to close, which means that you can now go and sign papers and wait. I'm sorry, do your final walkthrough first,
Oh.
papers, and then we get the get the
Right.
keys.
Right.
That's the exciting part, what everybody's always waiting for. Get those keys.
And so it's a lot. It's a lot, but it
But you
can be
can split
done.
this up. You can split this up. You can actually probably split this list probably right about in half because I think right around 10 or 11 was when we said do your checkpoint.
Yeah.
So right around your checkpoint, like the first 10 things you could probably do within the first 30 days, I would say. And then the next 30 to 60 days, you could do those last 10
Mhm.
and you'll be good.
Right.
You'll meet your goal.
So this year, Lisa and I, we're gonna actually give some workshops where you could come meet with us, talk about the home buying process in detail. So
Hmm.
we'll definitely have a lot of different things we're offering this year, but workshops is definitely one of them. So if you're interested in buying a home, your goal is in 2022 to buy a home, then come to the workshop. Join our next workshop. The next one is in February. We'll have a virtual workshop coming up, so we'll be sharing more information about that. But you can always follow us on Water Cooler Wednesday in our Facebook group, so you can always ask questions, talk
Yeah.
about anything about your home in Water Cooler Wednesday. And if you're ready to start the process, you know that, okay, within the next 4 months, I want to purchase a home. Give us a call. Give us
Hmm.
a call. We might not have to start right now, but we can make sure that we help you make sure that you're set up in the right process, right?
Right.
So,
Right. And there's always some of those things that we talked about from our 20 points today that you could just start on right now, even if you don't plan to purchase
mhm,
until like closer to the end of the year, like maybe 6 to 9 months out. You still should
mhm,
be starting these items that we talked about right now. There's no reason to wait on those. You need to get in, jump in right away. The more information that you have, the better it'll be. And the more you take action, the quicker you'll see things that come together. So it'll make the process easier for you and more enjoyable, I think, just kind of for everybody all together. So yeah,
yeah.
get started. Don't wait.
Right, don't wait. You can always reach out to me. My name's Dion Branch with EXP Realty. This is my phone number. You can always reach out to me anytime. I am also part of the Water Cooler Wednesday where I'll be there answering questions as well. So
All right. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to
Thank
2022.
Right, we're back.
Woo-hoo! Looking forward to helping you with your goals this
Right.
year. Yes.
Every Wednesday, 6 p.m., we ask you to join us. Um, and if you have any questions, always just give us a call or shoot us a message, and we're here to help you. Let's see.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.